The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw Dating, preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and broadcasting live from the Dallas Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. And good morning. It's early. We got Nicole, myself, Aisha Morrison, and Christy Scales. Good show planned for you, ladies and gentlemen, to watching. But it is early. It is bright and early. We are now at 8 a.m.
I like it early. You know why? Because we're just maybe 25 yards away from the weightlifting tent over there, and the strength and conditioning staff, they have a little more control over the music at this time of the morning. I heard some Anita Baker. We get a little bit of R&B.
Okay,
so
come
there's
on.
some advantages to being here early in the morning.
Come on, Anita. Listen, I am hurting, but that's going to be okay. The sun is kind of starting to hit our skin.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
We're going to make it. We're going to make it.
You know who else was hurting? This team yesterday when they had to run some sprints after Brian Schottenheimer not too pleased about those scuffles that happened. Quite a bit of them have been happening through camp so far just because obviously they're competing, right? Shotty wanted them to compete. This is what happens, but there also needs to be some discipline. But just talking about, Christy, for you, when's the last time you saw a head coach put some disciplinary things in practice?
I can't remember the entire team running really ever. Probably Jimmy. Probably would have happened under Jimmy, but I honestly, Brad Sham and I, this is his 48th year. This is my 35th. And we were trying to remember the last time the entire team had to run, and we really couldn't think of it. I mean, it's been at least 20-something years. But Shotty had warned everyone, and he had also said over the weekend that the next person that throws a punch gets kicked out of practice. So it happened to be rookie 6th-round offensive tackle Johnny Cornelius. So we saw him escorted across the field. He had the long walk of shame. It was
that long?
It was yeah, because they were on the field on the left and had to walk all the way across past the other one and then up to the locker room. But there was still another skirmish after that. And now we do have to say that they really only missed a couple of plays, okay? There was less than 3 minutes of practice remaining. Yeah. So they might have missed a couple of reps. It's not like they missed an entire session or 10 or 15 plays because at this point in camp, all of the reps are too precious to that. But I think that Shotty was able to make his point.
I liked it,
Aisha.
I liked it. As you're a former athlete. I mean, me being in the military, I've had
suicides.
I was about suicides.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just put you in a wall sit and tell you to sit until they come back, and that might be after they go get dinner too. So
don't you miss those
for
days?
me? Sometimes I do miss some of that. But in his theology for doing this, he's saying if you throw a punch in a game, you gon' get kicked out. This team has been one of the more penalized teams in the NFL for too long. And it is going to take some repetition and setting a tone in practices and those things to get these guys to understand the stakes. Furthermore, it's a trickle-down effect. Like some of these gentlemen, especially at this offensive line position, you need them here. You need them in practice with guys going out, them trying to see things. So it also has an effect on the team. And the way that it was in the military was like, hey, if your buddy's late, you all late. And they're kind of keeping that team, togetherness and doing this as well. So I liked it. I was cackling. I like when he turns up. I like when he loses it because unfortunately, because he's a very personable coach, it was killing me that I thought people thought he was like a
nice
little pushover, I'm your uncle kind of vibe or whatever. And it's like, yeah, he can be cool, but Shotty has come up with some of the old school, fantastic football minds. So I never thought that he was going to be the coach that wasn't disciplinary. So I'm glad that people are getting to see that side of him, along with him being that personable coach that we're growing to love right now.
Yeah, don't mistake affability for irresponsibility.
Talk about it.
And the other thing, I remember when Wade Phillips was head coach, and Chris Beam can help me out on this, but probably 3 or 4 years into Phillips' tenure and having training camp and got the moniker Camp Cupcake. Cupcake. This is not Camp Cupcake. There is a lot, and I don't mean I don't mean shoddy making them run.
Yeah.
But this is the most energetic, fun to watch training camp that I can ever remember, and here's why.
That's big coming from Christy, y'all.
No, because you're not seeing the individual drills and the 7-on-7s and the 9-on-7s. Shoddy was talking about that earlier this week. CD was talking about it yesterday. He was at the podium, and he says, in a game, you're not just going one-on-one, right? He's getting double teamed and things like that. So much more of this camp, the camps under Schottenheimer, many camps as well, are dedicated to 11-on-11, right? Real game situations rather than 7-on-7. And Shoddy explained it as such. When you have, everyone, all 11 players are involved in a play, and not just 7 or not just 9. So let's practice real football and get everybody involved. And I can tell you, it's much more entertaining to watch.
Absolutely. And I can say that, when you're playing 11-on-11, every rep matters, carries weight, and there's a lot of injuries so far throughout the roster. Let's just go down the list. We've got Kalen Carson, who'll be out with for 4 to 6 weeks, hyperextended knee. Rob Jones, 2 to 3 months. That was Wednesday, I believe. Monday, I'm sorry, we found out about that. Deuce Vaughn, to be determined. He has not been in the last couple of practices because of a hamstring. Brevin Spanford is out for 2 to 3 weeks, ankle. Paris Campbell with a knee, to be determined as well. Saw Andrew Booth in practice yesterday, but he was out for concussion protocol as reported. Wanye Thomas, to be determined, out with a leg injury. Hakeem Adeniji missed practice yesterday, which was big. Brian Schottenheimer mentioning that he was going to be getting in some reps at left tackle. Also right tackle, they were going to be moving him around there. But let's just start with who's hurting the most when it comes with the reps, taking the most reps.
Well, the Adeniji thing was kind of a shock. Obviously, he's been getting some work at right tackle. It means something to me that he was getting work at right tackle, and also he's able to do some things at left as well, it sounds like. But it mattered to me because Terrence Steele, very underrated. This gentleman has not missed a snap in 2 years.
Right.
And it's been long overdue. The Cowboys have kind of been in this limbo phase with left tackle, but right tackle has been very contingent on whether he can go. And he's just been a guy that can go. Yeah. So to get a formidable guy that can step in at that right tackle spot, give you some good reps with the twos or whatever the case may be, means a lot to me depth-wise. Deuce Vaughn is a guy that comes to mind that I do feel like is going to be affected or is currently being affected by what is happening with Jadon Blue and Miles Sanders. Obviously, Miles Sanders is a guy that's going to stand out because of the experience, the vision, so he's one of those guys that I think his veteran presence is serving him to start this camp, whereas maybe some of those younger guys take a little bit of time. He hit the ground running really since minicamp. I noticed him then. And then Jadon Blue is starting to shine a little bit more. We're seeing that speed. We're seeing that explosion at the second level. And I'm looking at some of the things they're having them doing, some of the receiving things, some of them coming out of the backfield. And I'm like, those are things that we looked at Deuce Vaughn that he can do well. So him not being out here right now is kind of bothering me because I know at the start of camp we were seeing him get reps with the twos and we were seeing him. And now, because he is unavailable, we're seeing other guys kind of step in. That stands out to me as well.
Yeah, and also when you're missing it in practice, they got the installs, but working on things as we get further into practice that they're going to use in the regular season. There are things that happen at practice that you're not going to show in a preseason game. You're not. Yeah, you want to see him catch the ball out of the backfield and stuff, but you're just. It's not the game plan. It's not.
No, it's very watered down.
Yeah,
of course.
It's very watered down in preseason. And so you're not going to get those types of plays necessarily in those preseason games. You only get them out here. So to your point, I think you're right. It's really crucial to get every snap because it really is a competition at running back and even towards the top.
Yes, ma'am.
So these young guys really do have a chance. I mean, I still think it's Williams and then Sanders and then everybody else trying to unseat them. So you better take advantage of every snap that you get.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I wanted. Can you say the list again?
Oh, sorry. Kalen Carson, Rob Jones, Tyler Guyton, Deuce Vaughn, Brevin Spanford, Paris Campbell, Andrew Booth, Wanye Thomas, Hakeem Adeniji. Why you look stressed?
Well, because I am a little stressed. I mean, Kalen Carson is a huge one for me. This is a gentleman that we saw this last year with the tight ends, ladies. You know, Jay Ferguson had that injury, and we were sitting here waiting for another tight end to emerge. This was a huge opportunity for Kalen Carson to emerge himself into the conversations of this cornerback room, given the fact that guys are injured, and there's him getting the opportunity to show what he can do. I felt like would be intricate for him, and for him to be out right now, this is a pivotal time for him. I believe. I think this is a pivotal time for him. And you're seeing other guys, the Keemon Halls, the Israel McQuamus, the Troy Prides, kind of stepping. Zion Childress, who is starting to pop to a few people. I just feel like in this camp right here seems like it matters for Kalen Carson. And I'm disappointed that he is injured again. Hopefully he can get back healthy. But when you talk about those guys, he stands out on the list given the fact that he is coming off of an injury and a kind of a down year to his standards.
I want to stick with the cornerback room. So far down the depth chart, we know that Kyer Elam is having a hell of a camp. 3rd interception yesterday in practice. Just him and Deron Bland, well, depending on if they keep Deron outside or if they want to move him back inside. But so far down the depth chart, who has kind of stood out to you the most in terms of that cornerback room?
What about you, Christy?
Wow, at corner. Well, see, I was going to say Carson, but yeah. I think that it's important what you say about Deron moving around inside and outside. Yeah. It's the domino effect of these injuries.
Yes,
if you're going to have to like Keemon Hall has been playing inside behind Deron, and then when Deron missed those practices because of his new son being born and him being back home. Hall was getting so much work there. Yep. Well, now you're going to have to, they're thinking about moving Hall outside or Deron outside. So Carson going down really affects 2 positions and not just one.
Good. Yeah, and when you talk about the cornerback room, you ask who's standing out. I'm not going to say he's necessarily standing out, but he's holding his own. Keemon Hall is a guy that we got to see a little bit of last year in preseason. Yeah. His footwork is very fast. I got to see some of the drills that they were doing even in minicamp, and I was saying, like, his turnover, and what I mean by that is when he flips his hips, is faster than anyone else, and you need that to play the nickel corner position. He's very tough, has a nose for the ball. Guy out of a UNT, very local guy, and it's a lot of people rooting for him. He's really fighting for that nickel back 2 position if he is going to be that, and that is an intricate position to you defensively. Him kind of showing up, holding his own at the very least, to me is gonna be something I keep an eye on, especially when you get into this Rams practice, because you know they're gonna manipulate that slot a lot. How can he deal with having to jam, sometimes set the edge, sometimes go tackle? How somebody got to step up in Jordan Lewis's place.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has that feisty underdog mentality, just like Jordan Lewis. So let's see how he does to finish camp.
Against the Rams, Hall had the pick 6 at SoFi last year.
He sure did.
Preseason.
So no, it's huge. If he can step up, and if it's comfortable enough that Deron Bland can go outside, and you have a Kyer Elam playing well, maybe that ends up being your starters. And I think the more that Keemon proves that, I would be okay with that.
And the more multiple, the more versatile you are, it seems like, for this team, you're going to get more of an opportunity. It's not aside from, the obvious special teams, but just in this defense, in this offense, if you can do multiple things, Shotty's even talked about it, I mean, you have a better chance of being on this team.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and what's fun when you say who's really stood out at cornerback, really the whole group, and just the under David Overstreet and Curtis.
He's so crazy.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Ain't he crazy?
And I love that attitude of when they throw the ball, take it, it's personal.
Yeah.
They're throwing at you take it personally.
Yes.
And it's our ball. It's our ball as much as it's the offense's ball. And so, they have been very, very aggressive in practice. But again, because you're playing more 11 on 11, like when you're doing when it's the one-on-ones at camp, you can be a little more intense going for the ball and stuff. But in this setting and the way that Shotty's running practice and with the attitude of the position coaches, you're just getting a lot more aggressive plays going for the ball earlier in camp than you would normally get.
Absolutely. We're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. And in the second segment, we're going to take a look at the running back room and the offensive line. Who's stepping up now at left tackle? That is Nate Thomas. All right, we'll be right back with more.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Cowboys football is back, and so is your game day style. From tailgates to touchdowns, rep the star in fresh new fits. Find your season-ready gear today at a pro shop near you, or shop online at shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience. Do y'all like my new? Yeah,
Sorry,
you like my
I
new
just felt like I
cowboy
needed
joke?
that.
I'm
sorry,
You
what'd
like
you
my
say?
new cowboy joke?
Yeah, girl,
Absolutely,
look at you,
looks
swaggy.
I know. Thank you to Therese and my friends DCM Graphics. So
You
there
swaggy.
go.
I
We
know.
asked for more Cowboys Joe for the ladies, and we got it. So
Come on,
Thank
girl.
you very much.
Dun, 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 dun. I just feel like I needed that little DJ, mix. Thank you guys for sticking with us here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, Nicole Hutchison, Aisha Morrison.
You watching battle
Kristen
rap?
Scales. Hey, mind your business. Please. Mind your business, sister. All right. Offensive lineman Tyler Guyton will be out for quite some time, 4 to 6 weeks, for a knee fracture. But Stephen Jones declaring that Nate Thomas would be stepping in at left tackle. Brian Schottenheimer confirming yesterday as well. And then we saw him taking first team reps at left tackle in practice. What's jumped off the film so far, ladies? Christy.
Yeah, two early return, so hard to say, but
Yeah.
it's interesting because Thomas, Raging Cajun, right?
Yes.
Hello.
But he did play left tackle in college, but last year when he came to camp as a rookie draft pick, he was moved to guard. And so the thing that's been said about Thomas is what they like about him is his power and his run blocking.
Yep.
And so that was very well suited to guard. Then, of course, he has the knee injury and misses all of last season and didn't even get to practice because he's on injured reserve. So now you're asking him to go back to tackle, and he had been playing tackle for this camp and a lot of the off season, but I don't know. It's just interesting that he comes in the first year and they say, power, strength, and run game, and it's like, okay, now let's put him back in space again, and have him at left tackle. But he did talk to the media yesterday. He said that with the knee injury last year, had a partial tear, got that cleaned up, got that fixed in surgery, had been battling the tendonitis, but that having a full off season to rehab and also be part of the strength and conditioning program and off-season work for the full time. That's where you see players make that big jump from first year to second year, is that they have an entire off-season in the program. So I think that's going to suit him well, and we're going to get to see a lot of them in preseason. So this is a really great opportunity for a young player like Thomas.
Yeah, really awesome hearing him talk about, working with Dak in the offseason and getting that time. Nathan Thomas, we got to talk about him on the draft show. I remember when he was drafted. It was hard to get film on that man. That's what I was say. But the little bit that I did get to see with him, and even if I'm not mistaken, his junior year he didn't render a hold. He had no penalties. This is a guy that obviously, like Christy talked about, he has an aggressiveness in the run game, and whereas his feet aren't as light as I would say like a Guyton or a Terrence Steele, he still has pretty active feet. He's still working them, getting to the second level and being able to latch and really drive guys out of the way. And so what you're seeing from this offensive line is that the interior, they're doing a lot of duo combo blocks, getting upfield, and then they disengage. The tackles are going to be asked to get out there to flank and to get these guys to move and create lanes. So you do need more athletic guys to be able to do that. So with Nate, I'm very excited to see him getting this opportunity, because last year, I said it on our show, I was bummed that he was injured, because I thought he would be someone that could step in Tyler Guyton's absence, and the fact that he wasn't getting those reps. I saw the talent on film. Obviously, the Cowboys saw it. I think he did suffer from going to a smaller team, which we see in the draft, because when you looked at the tape, I felt like he was he was a consistent tackle that had a lot of experience. Yeah. So for me, I'm not surprised that he has come in and that that people are noticing him and they're seeing how steady and level-minded he is. But what they want these tackles to do, he has the perfect temperament to be able to do so. That aggressiveness in the run game, really moving guys off the line. And with how good this interior seems like they're coming together, you do not want your tackles to be such of a weak point that you always got to chip, you always got to help out. I want the Cowboys offense to be able to utilize their tight ends, and the tight ends not be pigeonholed to be extra blockers. So your tackles, you at least need them to come on with it, and I think Nate Thomas, the more time he gets, he's going to be okay, and we'll be waiting for Tyler Guyton to get back here.
Yeah, and I got a chance to talk to him post-practice in a walk and talk, and just asked him, do you feel like you're ready? He said absolutely.
Yeah.
He said yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And he kind of compared, I asked him for a story that illustrates, your whole story here, and he used the David and Goliath story, just basically, him being like that underdog mentality, but he's ready for the challenge, and he also has the trust of this coaching staff. That's the key. Shotty even mentioning some praise on him a little bit. But when you talk about Awesome Richards, who played backup left tackle last year, was really a swing tackle, you can say. But just talking about Awesome Richards, what does this mean for him?
He better come on with it. I think the thing about Awesome is that he worked really hard. One thing about him on his college tape, he went up against some really good competition when he was at North Carolina. So there were valuable games you could take and say, okay, this guy is a good developmental left tackle. One thing that Awesome struggled with was power, taking on power, being the aggressor when he punches. And that's something that he worked. We got to see him in a couple games last year in spots, obviously see him in preseason and stuff like that, put on a lot of size. I'm looking at his feet, and they don't look as sound as what I remember. And I don't know if it has to do with the size, but they are trying to figure out ways to get him involved, putting him in line as a tight end, trying to get him, some extra reps as a blocker. I do still think this gentleman has value to this offensive line. The depth is there, but I do think that I personally see with Nate Thomas, there's just a little bit more snap out of the stance. There's a little bit more pop behind the hands when he attacks, and so that's a real competition, and I don't care who it is. I want the best guy on the field.
Hello.
Yeah, I did get to talk to Awesome, and it was before Guyton had gone down, but early in camp, you just noticed how much more. You mentioned using him as an extra, basically as an extra tight end. So he's been reporting in as tackle eligible, and then as an extra blocker. So basically having 6 offensive linemen out there, but also him moving. So pre-snap movement, he starts on one side and then they shift and he goes over to the left side. And so I asked him, I'm like, is it just me? But it seems like we're doing a lot more extra linemen. And he says, yeah, we've been working on the jumbo package a lot and a little earlier than normal. And or what he remembered from the previous couple of years. And he does have a lot of pre-snap movement, which when you're one of the 5 linemen, you don't do that. So, but he like Nate Thomas, certainly a likable young man,
Very
hard
much so.
worker. But yeah, I think that Thomas, they talk about, moving off the guys off the point with the power and stuff. And so, they're trying to get some of that with Awesome Richards. And when people talk about, we need to improve the run game, well, bringing in an extra tackle is one way to do that.
Yeah.
But now you're going to have to count on him. He's going to get more of the snaps, at either left or right tackle. I'll be interested to see if they leave Thomas out there with the ones moving forward for the next week or so, or do they work Adeniji in there, or do they give Awesome some work with the ones? So that's going to be telling. Is 3 or 4 practices in, is Thomas still working with the ones?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good right there. I want to switch gears to the running back room before we take our second break. This running back room is probably one of the most interesting ones to watch as well, just because you have so many guys that bring different things to the room. And Christy obviously mentioned Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. They've been running with the ones. Jaden Blue kind of keeping his name in the mix as well. But so far, who looks to be the potential RB1? And yes, it is still camp. We still got to see them in live game action in preseason. But still, as of right now, who do you like as running back 1?
I still think it's going to be Williams, but we'll see a lot of Sanders. I don't know how much that you're going to see those guys in preseason.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be giving the young guys a lot of work, and that's why Deuce missing some time is important. It is bad for him because he needs those work in the all the work he can get in the preseason games, as well as the practice reps, which we talked about in the first segment. But it's kind of hard to get a feel right now, to be honest. And here we go, more leaf blowing.
Woo!
See, we got all the sound effects here at training camp. But I think it's going to be a lot better than people think. I think people have been down on the running game, and for good reason, the last couple years, because the numbers haven't been there. But I think it's really going to have to do more with the play of the offensive line.
That's
and what
true.
we were just talking about with some of the power and some of the things that we're seeing on the offensive line. I think overall the run game's going to be better no matter who's back there, because I think the offensive line is going to be better.
I agree. I think this offensive scheme and some of the things that Clayton Adams likes to do, setting up this offense with the run game, I do think that it is going to be, and we heard Shotty say that he felt like the running back by committee thing was a little overstated last year and stuff like that. I just think it is going to be a collective effort.
Absolutely.
Because we're not even just talking about these gentlemen that are labeled as running backs, because Hunter Lipke going to be everywhere. He's someone that they're utilizing across the line, getting him into some different sets as well. But for me, you're also going to see Kevontae Turpin get touches. I think he's going to be an intricate part of what you want to do from a running back perspective. And then you also see CeeDee Lamb getting touches. This run game is going to be predicated off of, I think, what the defense is doing and how they can attack. We've seen them attack inside. We've seen them bounce outside. Lord have mercy, if they get a screen game, I'm going to faint. I'm going to fall out.
I'm saying this
Listen,
for some time.
I'm going to faint. But you're starting to see this. It is. To me, it's a collective effort. You're going to have guys catching passes. You're going to have guys swinging outside. You're going to have some motion men also. So, I don't know. I'm not as down on the running back room as you were saying, Christy, because I've seen what Clayton Adams can do within a scheme and how coaching matters, y'all.
Yeah.
Coaching matters. And then also just the overall play of your offensive line, I think, is going to improve because of some of the scheming, because of playing to their strengths. So, yeah, obviously we're seeing a Jaden Blue show up a little bit more. Miles Sanders has kind of been steady. Javonte Williams is someone I thought we would not really notice until the pads came on, because he's that type of guy.
Yeah.
Got to see him have a cutback yesterday and show a little bit of burst. He's trying to get back from the injury he had. At this point, girl, everybody gonna touch the ball. Like, listen, and you know what's crazy? We be talking about this, and what's insane to me is like, hey, listen, you are gonna lean on this run game.
Yeah.
There's only one ball, and you got some stars. You just paid your tight end.
Yep.
You got these 2 receivers that want to get after it. Listen, I don't know. no, you're gonna have to be distributed. You gonna have to take that piece of pizza and cut it into some small slices at the pizza parties they be having when you're working. But
it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, and I know people are down on it, but I would encourage all of them to take the time to really look into that Cardinals run scheme that was so impressive, and they didn't even have the starters that you have on the offensive line. Let these coaches get with these guys, play to their strengths, and attack defenses from all different spots on the field with the different guys. Yeah. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. And CeeDee Lamb was talking about it. The wide receivers being dedicated to blocking in the run game.
Talk about it!
Because with this line, you're going to be able to get your runners to that next level.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how do you get the big plays in the run game? Oh, it's predicated on downfield blocking by everybody, including the receivers.
It's unselfish.
No, very much so. And when you talk about, like, that's where I think guys like Mingo make a difference. That's where I think guys like, and you got to see, even last week, we saw some clips of, I only saw clips, so I wasn't here, y'all. I got to see George Pickens getting to the outside, helping in the blocking game.
Yeah.
Every team that you see that is able to run the ball and get explosive, which is what Clayton Adams is looking for in this offense, explosive plays in the run game, your wide receivers got to be willing and they have to be engaged. And so even hearing CeeDee Lamb talk about that, he's emphasized, like, the leadership. He even talked about yesterday. He was like, yeah, we need to get fussed at because we need it. I'm like, good. I'm glad you feel that way. So
accountability.
And when your fullback is also a tight end, a hybrid tight end. But I did speak with Lipke because
our guy.
We know that last year during the season that he was splitting time between meeting rooms, watching film between tight ends and running backs, and he was doing that in as early as training camp last year, and he's doing it again in training camp this year. In fact, there have been a couple days where he's been exclusively in the tight end room. So
thanks for
get a chance to show his versatility there, but that's going to help in the run game as well, where you've got Ferg and Schoonmaker, Brevin Spanford when he comes back, a good blocker, but when you got a fullback out there at the F or tight end, that's going to help downfield blocking as well.
Well, this run game's looking to improve, but so is this team in the red zone. Let's talk about it, that red zone work, up next here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host NFC East rivals, Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. What a great lineup. That's a killer schedule. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
What'd that first line say, Christy?
Cowboys Nation.
Keep going.
I'm screaming.
The 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise.
That's where I was getting at. See what I was doing there?
Took a while to get there. Sorry about that.
We already getting started on bringing some level of noise.
It's all right, because the Cowboys are looking to bring some noise, make some noise in the NFL in the red zone. We're gonna hope so. 46% touchdown rate in the red zone in 2024,
Not
ranking
good.
in the bottom half of the league. Not good. But we're seeing this red zone work. Obviously, Dak and even Joe Milton, all the quarterbacks getting some work and finding different targets, trying new things in the red zone. What have you seen so far, Christy, that's kind of stood out in that area?
Just the receivers going and getting the ball, and the DBs have been, it's been really good defensively too. I mean, the DBs have gotten their share of good plays as well. But I think having Pickens and his ability to go up and high point the ball and make those contested catches, and Jake Ferguson not having a touchdown last year.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that's why I was
You're not paying him $52 million to not score touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for him to have a huge year and right that wrong from last year. I know he was playing hurt with a knee injury and everything, so there are reasons for that. But, yeah, I mean, that's just scoring in the red zone last year offensively, as you mentioned, only 46% of the time did you score a touchdown. Well, defensively, your opponent scored touchdowns 75% of the time. So that was just a glaring disparity last year. And we love Brandon Aubrey. We love for him to have chances to be have the highest point total in the NFL as a kicker. But too many of those came not from banging 50-plus yarders, but shorter ones because your offense stalled in the red zone.
Yeah, and that's why explosive plays are so important. And that's why, I think this NFL is coming to, you see some of the best teams in NFL now. They're teams that have guys that can do explosive things in timely moments and stuff like that, keep you on your heels, but they do have the ability to go work the clock and drain the clock. And I think that that's what the Cowboys are trying to be a balance of. Well, I hope that they are. When you talk about the red zone, another part about it, too, is that they need to be good in the red zone because this defense looks like it's going to turn over the ball.
Yes.
And if you want to help out this defense and play to what I believe right now looks like the strength of your defense, that edge rush room, you want to be able to put points on the board so those guys can get after it.
Exactly.
You want to reward this defense that we do see there are some holes, there are some things that we're still concerned about. Yeah. If they're turning the ball over, you need to be able to capitalize off of those with sevens. Because those threes is fine, but those sevens be having people making some decisions on the other side of the ball. They might feel a little bit more pressure with a 7 than a 3. So for me, I also think that it's important for this red zone offense to take a step forward because of your defense that may have a few spots that are not perfect, but if they're working to get these turnovers, capitalize. Also, too, with the red zone, another thing that's going to help you is your quarterback seem like he ain't scared to run the ball at all. We've been seeing him running, skipping, hopping, jumping, brooms between his legs, galloping and everything. Listen, the quarterback looks fluid. The quarterback looks like he's having a lot of fun. And I was surprised at how much he is using his legs. I personally think he's conditioning himself. I think he is getting his body ready to do that. That threat in the red zone matters to me. And we've also seen that they're doing something with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens where they're sending George on the post and they're sending CD in the flat. That's going to cause a lot of issues, those levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to cause a lot of issues with those secondary players having to make business decisions. And then you have a Kevontae Turpin, too, who I think can do some short, quick routes as well. You already mentioned Jake Ferguson. I think the red zone will improve because the run game should be better. That's what you're also looking for. But also too, I'm looking at this wide receiver room coming together, and teams having to make some decisions on who they want to cover, because there's so much that you can do down there.
Yeah, and the experience of Dak Prescott is, as soon as he sees the defense make that commitment to go the other way, and
he's gonna make you pay.
Exactly. And I'll just throw one other person in. We mentioned him earlier because of injury, but when Brevin Spann-Ford, when he comes back,
big body,
his size,
yeah.
I mean, that is a huge target in the end zone.
I agree. And his hands, like we saw that amazing grab he had in the end zone, just how much his hands have improved. And what I mean by that is just the way that he reels in the ball. Even you can see how his fingers, like just him catching the balls, looks so much more comfortable. For me, him high pointing the ball is something I think is going to be where your quarterback can just put it up there for him. His radius is high.
Yeah.
His catch radius is insane. It's going to be a problem if you get a linebacker lined up on him or something like that. So hoping he can get back too, because I agree. I think he's going to be a big target in the red zone.
I remember catch radius, one of the first times seeing a next-gen stat that they put up during the broadcast, and it was in regards to Calvin Johnson, right? Megatron. And his catch radius, meaning, how wide, with the long reach and his height and everything, his catch radius was the equivalent of a 2-car garage door.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
That's crazy.
So if I'm the if I'm the quarterback, and I have a big, tall guy with a wide range, someone that's big, his catch radius was the equivalent of a 2-car garage door.
Like a 1-car,
two-car garage. Picture a
Okay.
2-car garage and a door, open to close that 2-car garage. That was his catch radius.
That's insane.
Now I'm not saying that Brevin Spann-Ford is as athletic as Calvin Johnson, but he does have that same size.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about being able to high point the ball, or a George Pickens and the like, but that's your target range. Now, not that you're trying to throw it wide or anything, but that's when we're talking about catch radius. That's what we're talking about.
I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm a visual learner, so I'm trying to see it, and I'm just like,
2-car garage.
people ain't supposed to be long like that.
I mean, they are, clearly. It's all good.
They throw it, you're able to go move, lean over, and get it.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
But these tight ends, I think they have obviously taken a step forward from last year, even the year before. Luke Schoonmaker as well, Brevin Spann-Ford when he comes back. John Stevens kind of working through some confidence there outside of Jake Ferguson, because obviously $52 million, he going to be that guy. Who outside of him and Brevin Spann-Ford have you guys kind of been impressed with through the first couple weeks?
Phillips is showing up. So, and I think he is going to be fun. I think he's going to be one of the stars of the preseason games, because he's going to get a lot of work. And especially with Ford, Spann-Ford missing some times. We'll see a lot of Tyler Neville as well, especially the second and third preseason games. Yeah. But, I think it's going to be his chance to shine, and people are going to be so impressed by his size and athleticism, and that he's hungry after coming off 2 seasons with very disappointing, injuries, and working back, rehabbing the same thing twice. And everybody talks about the positive attitude and his work ethic and coming back from that. I can tell you that inside the building, everyone is rooting so hard for him. They have a lot of high regard for how he's handled the situation. So I hope that he's able to take all of that positive things and manifest itself on the field and have it pay off for him.
You talking about John?
John.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, did you say
Stevens?
Phil? Oh. I was like, who's she talking about? Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. I mean, whew.
Because he's been through a lot.
No. Obviously, John Stevens coming back from injury. He's more of an athletic type tight end. Able to do some. He was able to do some receiver-esque type things. So you are trying to just see him get a feel. And I know, Nicole, you mentioned that he had a couple drops. To be expected. This is a gentleman that is literally coming back from trying to just get accustomed to football again. I will say, I think that Luke Schoonmaker has shown improvements. With just how comfortable he looks out there and what they're being asking him to do. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I've been impressed by the tight end room so far. What I am impressed by is the usage. I think that this coaching staff has started off camp really trying to emphasize getting the tight ends involved in the practices early. I felt like we would see them one day last year, and then the next day we wouldn't see them as much at all. And I think that maybe has something to do with the 11-on-11s more. That would make more sense. But I just think as a collective, they need to. I'm looking at them blocking as well. I want to see more of their blocking ability, which I think Schoonmaker has improved there, because I know Clayton Adams is going to want to do 12, 13. They're going to want to play off of that. They're going to want guys to kind of act like they're blocking and slip in between or behind those linebackers and stuff. So I'm looking for how they block more than the receiving aspect of it right now with a lot of them. So
Schoonmaker's talked about what a good offseason it's been. It's the first one where he's been like really healthy and able to do everything in the conditioning program and things like that. So he said this is the best that he's felt.
Yeah. Well, the days continue here in Oxnard, California. It's still going to be a lot of fun to watch these battles come to fruition as preseason approaches. That's in what? Oh my God, that's next week.
Girl, is it?
My goodness.
The Hall of Fame game. Was that tomorrow, today?
That's
tonight.
Crazy. Well, all right, that'll do it here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. For Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll be back here next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!